And we move on now to a stormy question, that of immigration. Particularly immigration as far as the citizens of the Republic of Ireland are concerned. Now, the government is facing in this connection an awkward problem. Should they, as citizens of the Republic of Ireland, be admitted freely to this country if citizens of the Commonwealth are being restricted? What indeed do the Irish already in our midst think about this? John Morgan reports.
Over 800 Irishmen are working on this enormous London office block. Even the architect and 2 engineers are Irish, like the M1, the atomic power stations, the Llanwern steelworks. This will be another monument to the Irish migration. If quotas were imposed, it would be this unskilled labour which would be limited. Last year, 70,000 sailed across the Irish Channel looking for work. Most will stay, but some will go back before they have to pay British income tax. The historic, bitter struggle for independence, which eventually took Éire out of the Commonwealth, makes no difference to the migration. Building work especially has an Irish accent.
Mr. Murray, you're the works manager on the site here, and I gather that 80% of your labour is Irish. Now, why are they so attractive to you, or the jobs so attractive to them?
Well, I think money is the first, number one. They like big money. They like to travel. They don't mind the conditions we work under. When we move from this job to another job, they'll come with us.
Won't English people do that?
Well, I don't think so. They prefer a steady job, or they like to work in the district they're in. With the Irishman, he's already away from home, and to travel on to another town, it doesn't make much difference to him. One town's the same as another.
What is there that's so attractive to the Irish about the building industry?
Well, of course, the pay is good, and shall we say, you find many more men of brawn than men of brain, perhaps. And they seem to stick at it once they start. You rarely find fellows forsaking it for other employment.
Do you think that the British government would be reasonable in restricting immigration from Éire?
Well, I should say that, seeing it's the Englishman's country, one must allow him a great deal of latitude in who he admits or bars.
One hears a lot of talk about hooliganism among the Irish. Now, is this justified?
It's something I've often felt strongly about. I think that everybody notices the drunken Irishman who picks a row outside a pub. But the dozen fellows that walk quietly along the street, nobody says he's an Irishman.
The problems lonely or penniless Irish immigrants face won't be found here because the work is steady. This block is already 29 stories high, built at the rate of 1 story a week. 47 of the 50 men who do the dangerous work of scaffolding are Irish. They work 7 days a week and earn up to £30 high above Westminster Cathedral, the church of their faith.
Excuse me, I interrupt you. Oh. Do you think that the Irish, like yourself, have any more right to be here than any other people?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
Why not?
Well, why should they? No more than any of them.
Well, you think you're a sort of foreigner here, do you?
Well, I suppose they are.
What about you?
Oh, I think I've just as much right to be here now as anybody else.
How would you feel if a bill were introduced limiting immigration from Ireland to this country?
Oh, I wouldn't feel too good about it. I don't think it's a good thing, really. Wouldn't be for either country, anyways, because the Irish are needed over here a lot, I think, in the building trade. Mostly in hospitals, the Irish nurses, definitely mostly hospitals here, and I don't see how you could do without them.
But you know, the Irish have got a reputation in London for fighting and for brawling.
They're a bit high-spirited, I suppose, but they don't do much damage. They seldom hear them using a knife or shooting people or much like that, do you?
Or do they just thump them?
They just have a crack and have a few drinks.
Excuse me. Could I interrupt you? Sorry to interrupt you.
All right, sorry.
Do you think that the Irish in Britain are entitled to special treatment by the British government?
Well, it's a hard thing to say, you know, but I think we are.
Would you yourself go back to Ireland now if you had a job there?
Yes, I certainly would. I'd go back tonight if I could, on that train tonight, if I could get a living in it, like.
Well, is there no chance at all of getting a job in Ireland?
There is at the present time. In fact, for the last week I've been reading the Irish press, and there's jobs there. The money is the very same as here.
What stops you going back?
£17 a week is right, yes. Just nervousness and fear, I suppose, of what I had in previous years.
Do you think that the Irish are entitled to special treatment from the British government?
Yes, I think so. Because we are very close neighbours. For years we have worked together and we have fought together. And after all, we had many VCs in the last war.
If you come into a pub, any pub you like to, you'll find Irish staff. Go to where there's rough buildings and you'll find 90%, I should say, of Irish.
95.
And I work for a firm that employs some 1,200, I can't mention the name. And the governor prefers Irish there.
Why?
Because they're better workers.
Do you think that the Irish are entitled to special treatment from the British government?
Well, as they're such close neighbours, I think they're entitled to perhaps a little more than other Commonwealth countries.
Even though Ireland isn't a Commonwealth country?
Well, they did have, the 6 counties is a member of the United Kingdom, so therefore they do have special privilege, and you can hardly cut off the Republic of Ireland from 6 counties, so therefore, as they're such close neighbours, I think they should have that treatment.
Do you agree with that?
Yes, I do.
Well, most of us over here feel that the British have a moral debt to the Irish, a moral debt as heavy as it is to the other parts of the Commonwealth.
On what grounds would you say?
Well, because of historical domination of Ireland, historical, political and economic. And because of that, Ireland is an undeveloped country, only just beginning to be developed now. There are 1 million Irish here at present, and they're building up the debt all the time by building up England, building up houses.
They're building the whole world up.
Exactly.
Even in America, Canada, United States. Now they're trying to drive them north, south, east and west out of this country. Every Irishman in this town owns a pub.
Do you think of yourself as a foreigner in this country?
Well, I think of myself as an Irishman in this country, but not as a foreigner. I don't feel the same as the British, but I don't feel in any way different from them. I'm just a human being as they are, and with far more in common with them than many immigrants from the Commonwealth.
The million Irish who live in Britain find it hard to see themselves as any different from us. The irony of the present debate is that we find it harder to take the same attitude to other, equally musical migrants who are part of the Commonwealth.